Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence and suddenly the word disappears? You know exactly what you want to say, it's right there. And then it's gone, just like that. Or maybe you walk into a room and stand there, confused, thinking, what did I come in here for? It's scary. It makes you wonder, is this just age or is something worse happening to me? But what if I told you that your brain is not failing you? It's just asking for a little more attention. And that, starting today, there are 5 simple things you can do every day to keep it active, sharp, and full of life, no matter your age. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful, science-backed habits that anyone over 60 can start doing right away. But here's the most important part. Make sure you watch until the very end, because the final 2 habits are the ones people overlook most. And yet they make the biggest difference in protecting your memory and keeping your brain young. They're easy to apply, they cost nothing. And if you take them seriously, you may start feeling more mentally clear, focused, and in control within days. Before we dive in, let me just ask you for one quick favor. If you find value in this video, or if you believe in the importance of sharing lessons about aging with dignity and strength, please tap the like button. It helps this message reach more people like you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so. This channel is dedicated to your well-being in later life. And if you want to stay sharp, strong, and empowered, you won't want to miss a single video. Also, I'd love to hear from you personally, right in the comments, if you appreciated this video or not. Your feedback helps me make better, more meaningful content for you every single week. Now, let's begin. You see, keeping your brain young isn't about doing something once in a while. It's about the little things you do every day. And the very first habit I want to talk about is movement. I don't mean going to the gym or running marathons. I mean simple, daily movement. Walking, stretching, dancing in your kitchen, light gardening. Just getting your body moving for 20 to 30 minutes a day can literally change the way your brain functions. Because when you move your body, you increase blood flow to your brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, more stimulation to the parts of the brain that control memory, focus, and decision-making. In fact, researchers have found that older adults who walk regularly actually grow their hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory. Yes, you heard that right. Your brain can grow, even after 60, even after 70. And if walking isn't easy for you, don't worry. Chair exercises, stretching in bed, gentle yoga, they all count. The key is consistency, because a body in motion keeps the brain alive. Now, the second daily habit might surprise you, but it's just as important. It's something that costs nothing and yet is becoming rarer with each passing year. And that's talking to people, real conversation. When you have a meaningful interaction, even just 10 minutes, your brain lights up. You engage memory, language, emotion, problem solving all at once. It's like a full-body workout, but for your mind. And let me say this, if you live alone or don't see people often, it's even more important to create small moments of connection. Call a friend, speak to your neighbor, join a book club or a walking group. Even small talk with a shopkeeper is good for your brain. Because when we isolate ourselves, our minds shrink. But when we connect, our minds expand. And finally, before we close this first part of the video, I want to share one more powerful habit. Learn something new every day. No, this doesn't mean going back to school or studying for hours. It means feeding your curiosity. It can be as simple as reading an article, watching a documentary, trying a new recipe, or learning how to use an app your grandchildren love. When you learn something new, your brain creates new connections. These connections protect you against memory loss, sharpen your thinking, and even help regulate your emotions. And the best part? You can start right now. What's one thing you're curious about today? Go explore it. Your brain will thank you. So now we've touched on 3 habits: movement, connection, and learning. Each one is small, but together, they create a powerful daily rhythm that can keep your brain alive, awake, and resilient. But we're not done yet, not even close, because the last 2 habits we're going to cover are often ignored, and yet, they're the ones that protect the brain the most from aging, confusion, and decline. Stick with me, we're just getting started. Now, let's keep going, because your brain deserves the best care you can give it. And if there's one thing most people overlook when it comes to mental sharpness, it's this next habit: protecting your sleep like it's sacred. Let's be honest. How often do you really get a full, peaceful night's rest? Not just lying in bed for 8 hours, but truly sleeping deep, uninterrupted, nourishing sleep that leaves you feeling clear and refreshed the next morning? If your answer is rarely, you're not alone. Many people over 60 struggle with falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up feeling groggy and unrefreshed. And over time, that kind of poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it clouds your thinking, affects your mood, and even raises your risk for memory problems. But here's the part no one tells you: your brain cleans itself while you sleep, literally. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins, repairs connections between neurons, and processes everything you learned during the day. It's like your mind's housekeeping crew comes out at night, but only if you let it. And if you skip deep sleep night after night, that mental clutter starts piling up. You feel foggy. You forget where you left your keys. You lose your train of thought mid-sentence. It's not your age, it's your sleep. So what can you do? The answer isn't sleeping longer. It's sleeping smarter. Start with routine. Your brain loves rhythm. Try going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. That consistency trains your internal clock and makes falling asleep easier over time. Next, make your bedroom a calm, restful space. Keep it dark, quiet, and cool. Turn off any bright screens, TVs, tablets, phones, at least an hour before bed. That blue light? It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, which delays the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. And if your mind tends to race at night, try this. Before bed, grab a notebook and write down whatever's on your mind. Worries, plans, things you need to remember. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just get it out of your head and onto the page. It's like giving your thoughts a place to rest, so you can rest too. Also, avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime. They might seem harmless, but they can interfere with your sleep cycle and leave you waking up more than you think. Here's a powerful image to keep in mind. Think of your brain like a garden. Sleep is the water. Without it, the flowers wilt, the weeds take over. But with deep, regular rest, everything grows. Everything thrives. Now, let's talk about something completely different, but just as important. It's a habit that might surprise you. And honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all. It's practicing stillness, mindful, intentional stillness. Now I know what you're thinking. How can doing nothing help my brain? But here's the thing. In a world that's constantly rushing, consuming, reacting, stillness is not laziness. It's strength. Stillness is a pause that your brain deeply needs. It's what allows your thoughts to settle, your stress to soften, your nervous system to breathe. Just like your body needs sleep at night, your mind needs moments of quiet during the day. And it's not about meditating for hours. It can be as simple as sitting in a chair with your eyes closed for 5 minutes, listening to your breath, feeling the breeze on your face, watching the way the leaves move outside your window. These tiny present moments are more than just relaxing, they're regenerative. When you give your mind even a few minutes of space each day, you activate a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, the area that helps with focus, clarity, decision-making, and emotional control. That's the part that makes you feel balanced and in control, even when life gets complicated. Stillness helps reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that, when left unchecked, damages the brain over time. It also improves memory retention and mental flexibility, all from just a few moments of quiet. And here's the beautiful part. You can practice stillness anywhere, while sitting in your garden, while sipping tea, while listening to the rain. You don't have to be a monk on a mountain. You just have to be present. One of the greatest gifts of aging is the ability to slow down and see what others miss. Stillness lets you enjoy the richness of the present moment, and that joy, that peace, is incredibly good for your brain. So just to reflect, we've now talked about movement, connection, curiosity, quality sleep, and intentional stillness. And if it sounds too simple to work, try it. Give these habits a chance to do what they're meant to do, because they weren't designed for instant results. They're designed for lasting ones. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. This isn't about checking boxes. It's about giving your brain what it's been quietly asking for: attention, care, a little room to breathe. If you're still with me, I hope something has sparked for you. Maybe you're thinking, I can do that. Or, I've been missing that in my day. That's the moment change begins, not with a huge leap, but with a quiet, powerful yes. So here we are. We've explored 5 habits that might seem simple on the surface, but carry extraordinary power beneath them. And the beautiful part is, these aren't extreme. They don't require you to change your whole life or become someone new. They're small, daily acts, done with care, that can truly transform how your mind feels and functions. But maybe you're still wondering, can I really do this? Is it too late to start? Let me tell you this gently but clearly. It is never too late. Your brain is alive. It's changing even now, in this very moment. Every thought, every decision, every habit, you're shaping it like clay. And whether you're 60, 70, or 90, the mind remains teachable, trainable, and full of possibility. And no, you don't need to do all 5 habits at once. Just start with one. Pick the one that speaks to you most. Maybe it's a short walk after breakfast. Maybe it's calling a loved one, or writing in a journal before bed. Maybe it's turning off the noise for a few minutes and sitting in silence, just letting your thoughts come and go like waves. Whatever you choose, start where you are, because the magic doesn't lie in doing everything perfectly. It lies in showing up for yourself consistently, quietly, intentionally. I want you to think of your brain not as something that's slipping away, but as a garden that's waiting to be tended. The weeds may have crept in over the years. Stress, distraction, exhaustion, forgetfulness. That's okay. We all have weeds. But with a little care, you can clear the space. You can water what matters. And slowly, beautifully, things begin to grow again. That moment when you remember a name without hesitation, when you find the right word at the right time, when you feel calm instead of overwhelmed, those are victories, quiet victories, and they matter. And let's not forget, your brain isn't just for remembering facts or managing tasks. It's where your memories live, your stories, your wisdom, your sense of humor, your dreams. Keeping it healthy isn't just about function. It's about protecting the very essence of who you are. So take care of it like the treasure it is. Give it what it needs: movement, connection, curiosity, rest, and peace. These are not luxuries. They are necessities. They are how we stay alive, truly alive, in spirit and in mind. And if this message has touched you, I want to invite you to share it with someone who might need it. Maybe a friend who's been feeling a little foggy lately. Maybe a neighbor who could use a kind reminder that they're not alone. Or maybe just someone who, like you, wants to keep growing and thriving in this season of life. And while you're here, don't forget to click the like button. It helps more people find this video. And if you'd like to be part of a growing community where aging is seen not as decline, But as evolution, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here, we believe that life after 60 can be just as full of clarity, energy, and joy as the years before, sometimes even more. Because now, you're living with intention, with wisdom, with the ability to focus on what truly matters. You've already made it through so much. You've learned, survived, adapted. You've raised families, built homes, made sacrifices. And now is your time to take care of you. Not because you're selfish, but because you're worth it. So keep walking, keep talking, keep learning, keep resting, keep being still. Your brain is listening, and it's ready to thank you. Here's to staying sharp, staying strong, and staying curious at every age. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.